Bonjour! It's episode 6 of
Season 2
of
Carousel of Rambles. We never say the name
the
of it.
podcast,
Yeah.
the musical, the television series. Yeah, we're back. Last time our original intention was to cover all of them. So we recently.
Backtrack.
We recently visited Walt Disney World and Universal Studios Florida and SeaWorld Orlando and Busch Gardens Tampa. And our original plan was to cover Walt Disney World in one big go. Mm-hmm. Except we didn't do that because we ended up talking about Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios for
ages.
Like an hour 40, 100 minutes. So this time we're going to cover the remaining 2 Walt Disney World theme parks, being
Animal Kingdom and EPCOT.
There we go.
EPCOT is a silly word, isn't it?
What does EPCOT stand for?
No, I don't know that.
Yeah, you do.
I really don't. What's the E? Start me with the E.
Experimental. You really have no idea?
Planet? No, I don't know.
Experimental.
Do you know? Yeah.
What? Now you've got me confused.
Planet.
I think it's just Experimental Community of Tomorrow.
Good.
Oh, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Right.
That's what it stands for.
Because that makes sense.
Well, this is back when it was going to not be a theme park, but
a prototype.
a civilization, a city, basically. That was what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So they just kept the name. Anyway, let's start with Epcot. We obviously resided in...
Pop Century.
Sorry, yeah. And
I don't think anyone's ever said I resided in Pop Century before.
Anyway, we resided in Pop Century, and that's connected to the Skyliner. Unfortunately, the first day I went to the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow, Epcot for sure, guys. The first time we went there, the Skyliner was down for a refurbishment.
Yeah, which we knew.
And it opened the day after, so it's fine. So we got the bus, which actually was kind of a good thing because it meant that we entered Epcot from its entrance, opposed to International Gateway, which is somewhere in between the UK and France pavilions.
Yeah.
So we got to see the Epcot Ball.
Yes.
First impressions? Walking in?
Impressions of the ball.
Impressions of walking into Epcot.
I quite like the ball. I feel like you don't like the ball, do you?
No.
I quite like the ball.
Why?
Because it's a weenie, but it's not like a castle or anything. And then, like, you can light it up. Gus would like to be on the podcast. What would you like to say about Epcot, Gus?
He'd like to bite his own tail.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you know, weenies don't always provide any real purpose other than to be a weenie. It almost annoys me more that the Epcot Ball provides...
Has the ride in it.
Yeah. I don't know. That makes zero sense. Right?
I don't even think about that as a thing.
No, I know. But I think it upsets me because I really don't like the ride. But we'll get to that later.
I think it's cool. I think it's like simple, but like not too simple. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just quite like it.
We didn't really have too much time to stick around and look at said weenie in the morning because it was beeline straight to everyone's favourite attraction, Frozen.
Yeah. Well, we did have to queue a bit, didn't we? Because we were there. We had to queue next to like the construction fence.
Yeah.
Which was a bit rubbish.
Yeah. So by that point, we'd figured out that, you know, you need to rock up 40 minutes before the half an hour early access to the park for hotel guests.
Yeah. Which is mental.
Yeah. So like over an hour early to the actual park opening, basically. And as you said, we got held up at the barriers because, you know, they kind of stagger the opening where they let you in, but then they don't let you pass a certain point until it's time for when the park actually opens. So yeah, we were at one of the construction fences waiting to go in, and then it was the mad dash to Frozen. We're going to race everyone else. But I think we did pretty well in terms of getting to Frozen. We probably waited like 3 minutes or something to get on it, right?
Yeah, well, we just walked through, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. Walked through, and then by that point we got on the front row.
Front row Frozen.
Front row Frozen. What do you think?
I liked it. It was like, it's not a bad way to do like a princess ride, is it? Like on the boat and stuff. You didn't like it,
It's okay.
clearly. Well, yeah, but it is what it is, isn't it? It's not trying to be anything amazing.
No, I get it is what it is. I really don't like the projected faces.
No.
It works on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway because they're cartoony, right? It's a bit weird on them as well, but
I think it's really difficult because, like, for example, Elsa's animation style, like, how do you make that? Like, with the Avatar ones, like, at least they're kind of based on people and, like, kind of real things.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, a cartoon. I don't know, it's quite a difficult thing to, like, make in real life.
yeah, you wouldn't be able to exactly match the style.
You'd almost have to, like, just make it a human version of them, like a real person version.
They are building a Frozen ride in Hong Kong that doesn't have projected faces.
Yeah, you were saying about this, I think.
Yeah, so they obviously, have figured out how to do it well enough. I just think it's really weird, and it kind of pulls me out of it when, they've nicely lit a scene and their clothes are one brightness and then their faces just so much more brighter than the rest of the body.
Well, yeah, you can tell that they're not, like, it must have been like the first time they'd done that, right, or whatever.
Oh, probably not, but yeah.
But, like, they've not perfected it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know, it was nice that, it had a few actual drops on it, which was cool. The bit where you kind of, she starts singing Let It Go and then you go backwards or whatever the song is. It is that. That was good.
I just don't think you need to spend a lot of money on that kind of ride because all it is kids going on it and they're not going to realise that it's a bit of a rubbish animatronic, are they?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather them not spend money on that.
What? Spend it elsewhere?
Of anything. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough. It was a ride that I would not be sad if I didn't ever ride again.
Well, yeah. Most rides are like that.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen what the old ride was like again. I need to go on YouTube and have a look at it.
Yeah.
And see how different it is. But I think you could kind of tell that they were shoeboxed into what already existed. It flows a bit strangely, I feel, the way the rooms are built and shaped and all that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see Hong Kong's version and Paris's version when they build them to see how different they are.
Yeah.
Because these, built from the ground up to be specifically what they are rather than a reimagination of an existing ride. So, anyway, that was that. We did Guide into the Galaxy next, but we'll hold off talking about that for now. Then we did Test Track, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think of Test Track?
It's not my kind of ride.
What do you mean by that?
It was like in the indoor bit, just too jolty. Although the first time he did it, I was in the middle seat.
Yeah.
And then the second time he did it, I was in the outside. And on the outside, you get more of a restraint.
Well, the middle seat, you've just got a little seat bar over your lap. But the outside one, you have like a triangle. Got one that goes across your shoulder. Yeah, so you're a lot more secured in.
So I preferred riding on the outside because of that. Because in the inside section, it just threw you around too much.
I didn't
like it.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. It's not my kind of ride. It's a cool ride.
Yeah. What do you think of the build your own car?
Yeah, I like that. It's funny.
It is funny.
We built a little smart car, didn't we? That won on economics.
Ran on economics?
No, I said one. What's it called?
Efficiency.
Environment. Yeah, efficiency. And then you made a silly sports car the second time.
Trying to max out the points.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool feature. It's just a strange.
It's a bit random, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit random. It's like the second version of that ride, so they rethemed it. Same thing, but they kind of just changed the way it works a little bit and introduced the build your own car. I like the build your own car.
Yeah.
And I like the way it tests, everything against it.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like it lacks any depth.
But I think it's because it's old. Like, they haven't really... Like, you can't start again with it to make it like a 2023 type of ride.
But the original one was like more quirky and had more to it. This one feels like they've stripped back half of the stuff.
Right, you mean like the fire and...
Yeah, just, I don't know. I like the old story because it was literally about testing it. The new one's more about, testing your vehicle that you've made. The old one was about literally testing a car. So they do like an ABS
when you
brake
design
check.
a car in the real world.
Yeah, exactly. ABS brake check and, like crash test dummy kind of stuff. And it was just had more life to it.
Mm.
This new one's like blue. It's just blue. You could summarize it by saying blue.
What, the car?
No, the ride. Inside the entire ride, everything is like blue lights, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just got no soul. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't find cars interesting, so I'm probably the wrong person.
Well, no, I don't really find cars interesting either, but it was an interesting idea, I feel, originally, to be able to like be the crash test dummy.
What if they didn't retheme it to what they've rethemed it to? What could they have done with it other than keep it the same?
Well, keep it the same, but
then you'd be like, this ride's really old and I haven't done anything
with it. Yeah, but you
with
just
it.
modernise what was already there. Don't
How?
necessarily need to, I don't know.
Surely it'd be like the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's cool what they've done with it.
It's okay. It's not horrific.
No.
It's okay. It's cool going fast at the end. I like that. When you're going to drop out of the building and then
I
you go...
think like the actual ride itself is a bit anticlimactic.
Oh, 100%.
Besides the theme, like maybe that's what's missing.
Yeah. No, it is. It's a very strange ride altogether.
It doesn't feel like you've started and then it's finished.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You're like, oh, okay, that's
doesn't really
then.
do anything. Like, you can tell that... Well, because the Cars Land version over in California is the same ride system, right? Like, it's test track, but for cars. Right. And that looks like they've got much better of an idea of...
A ride.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas this one is more of like an experiment, a test almost, see what this ride
Which
system
it probably
can do.
was meant to be that. But I don't know, it just feels a bit strange.
It is a bit strange, definitely. I think at that point we then decided that you decided that you were hungry and wanted to go around World Showcase to eat something, around the world.
As is tradition.
Yes. So we started, I think this is the contentious point of people say, if you're going to go around, which way do you go? You start with Canada on the right or Mexico on the left?
I don't know that it makes a difference.
I don't know that it makes a difference either. We started with...
I guess because, like, by the end, you're a bit bored almost. Do you know what I mean? Like, by the end, you've seen all the other ones.
Right.
I don't know.
But why would that make a difference?
Well, because if you really like Mexico or something, then you maybe want to start with Mexico. I don't know. I don't think it matters.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? Like,
no.
You're going to be in a different mood at the start of it than you are at the end because you've not done it all yet.
Right.
It's like saying, I don't know.
I get
how
what
are
you
you
mean.
at the start of the theme park day? How are you at the end? I don't know.
I get what you mean, but they are all different. So it's not like once you've seen one, you've seen them all.
No, but you're doing
the
the same thing each time. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just walk around it. It doesn't even take that long.
No. We started in Mexico.
Yeah.
And we went on the silly little boat ride about the three birds.
Oh, yes. Lovely, lovely. When's that going to be a Coco ride?
Well, exactly. But I didn't get it. I genuinely did not understand what that ride was.
No, I
Nor
didn't
did
get
I like it.
The story.
No. It was just weird,
It was
wasn't
just
it?
a bit of, like, random things.
It's like a low-tier dart ride. Like a low-tier boat ride, dart ride. And it just exists for the sake of existing.
Yeah.
I think a Coco ride could be much better.
Mm-hmm.
much more interesting. I don't care about Donald Duck. All the other two
Nobody
characters that I
cares
don't know
about
who they
Donald
are.
Duck, do they?
So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, they've just not. Yeah, it's just pointless, really. I don't know. Maybe someone loves it.
it is cool that it's, the actual ride itself is within that building next to the food places.
Yeah,
and
it's cool.
that's
It's
really
cool going in there with the sky and everything.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really neat way to do it.
But that could definitely be like a Coco. It already kind of looks like Coco.
Well, they've
Land.
already got Coke on the outside, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah.
A few bits and
An
bobs.
exhibition.
Yeah, exactly. So soon.tm. Yeah, I think we just kind of continued our way around, and the first food stop was in Germany
Yes.
to get the Werther's original.
We did not know that
snacks.
Werther's was German.
No, we didn't.
You learn something new every day.
We do. So you had the cookie, right? That had
One of the cookies. It had
Werther's
Werther's
sauce.
stuff on it, and it was a cookie. I can't remember what flavour it was now.
Oh,
You'll have
chocolate.
to watch our video when it comes out.
Chocolate flavour.
Yeah, it was nice.
Nice.
Yeah. It wasn't... It was an American style cookie,
Yeah, okay.
which is harder and thicker.
Yeah.
So it was good. It wasn't incredible.
Yeah.
And then you had...
I
can't remember
had,
what you had.
it was shortbread with
Oh, yeah.
caramel on. It's one step away from being a millionaire shortbread, and I
Yeah.
wish it was a millionaire shortbread,
Ah.
because that piece of chocolate on top just,
Was missing.
it was missing. But it was very nice.
Yeah.
Something to energise us as we...
And we got to look at the lake and the
I got to-
lovely... Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
It was nice.
And then we moved on.
Yeah.
Any of the lands at this point stand out to you that we've gone past now?
I can't remember where they're all placed. The China Pavilion's really cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I just like seeing the different architecture.
Yeah.
There's definitely some of the pavilions that are more interesting and stand out than others, like the China one, Japan, Italy, I feel stands out quite well.
Yeah.
France is quite...
I quite like France. The Eiffel Tower was hilarious.
Eiffel Tower's rubbish.
Yeah. The UK was a bit of a letdown. Maybe because we know what the UK's like.
Well, yeah. I mean...
I don't know, it just didn't really have any, anything going on, really.
No.
It was a bit boring.
Yeah, it is a bit boring. I agree.
Maybe that's the UK.
Well, it's just
I guess
got
they
your
couldn't really
classic-
attempt to do,
Ben.
Buckingham Palace, could they? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they should have. I don't know how they could do the Basilica in St. Mark's Square,
Yeah.
but you can't do Big Ben.
Yeah, true.
Surely the Basilica's taller
Just
than
stick Big Ben on the top of a building.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
Do it like Paris.
Exactly. Yeah, in the background.
Yeah, I don't know. But, especially with, Germany and the UK, I was saying this to you when we were there, it felt like a fairy tale version of some of
Yeah,
them.
they are. They are, though.
It didn't feel like real UK. Obviously, you wouldn't do, real UK. But, I mean, it felt like a story.
It's the stereotypical...
No, but even past that, to the point of imaginary UK.
Yeah.
If you asked someone,
If you asked an American what the UK looked like, that's what they'd draw.
yeah, or even more fantastical than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just wasn't quite right. Germany was similar. It was very
Yeah.
fair, grim fairy tale vibes.
It was very one, Bavarian, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just one part of Germany, and that's really it. It doesn't
Yeah.
really represent anything.
If you said Germany, I wouldn't necessarily think of that.
No.
So I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's
Obviously, the whole thing was incredible. I loved going through there and looking at everything. It's just nice, isn't it?
true. It's very cool. It's a really good idea for not necessarily just a theme park, but an attraction generally to
Yeah.
have all of these different pavilions that represent different...
Imagine if it was 3 times the size or
Well,
whatever.
Exactly. You could have a handful more pavilions, but then expand on them all and add more, not necessarily rides to them, but things to do, see and learn and that kind of thing.
Because it was actually smaller than obviously it's big, but it was smaller than I thought it was going to be.
What, each area?
Yeah, and the whole thing, really. Don't know.
Why? How big
It
did
was
you expect it
all
to be?
squished in. Like you take 10 steps and then you're on the next one.
Yeah, it's very much. You kind of have the front of the area, and then you go into it. It's not that you walk through it; you have to choose to go into it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's been designed that way for a purpose. Otherwise, it'd be very difficult to have
it'd be crowded,
so many.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, and have like seamless transitions between areas would be much harder if you're like inside of Germany and you have to go into China.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't work.
It would be difficult. So.
Next food stop was the best.
Yeah, I think I don't know where it was exactly. Somewhere like Morocco or something like that.
Well, it wasn't in a land specifically, because wasn't it one of the food carts for the...
Yeah, but somewhere around
for
that.
the artistic... Yeah, it was near there.
Yeah.
But it was like a cocoa van. It was.
Empanada.
An empanada. It was very good, wasn't it?
Chorizo and potato, was it? I think. It was very good.
So good.
Very nice.
Yeah. What else did we eat? Oh, you got your bevy from the pub?
Yeah, we went to the pub. You have to see these things. I was curious to see what the inside of the
Rose and Crown.
The Rose and Crown.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah. Looked like. And it was interesting.
It was pretty convincing.
Yeah.
But then
again, it's like the stereotypical pub kind of.
It's quite a small pub.
Yeah, obviously.
The guy was like, "You're right, mate," in his American accent, and we were like, "Hello."
They didn't have any British cast members at that point in time, which was kind of sad. Yeah, I don't know whether I'd feel. It feels weird to have cast members from that area,
from the country,
in that area. Like if someone asked me, "Oh, do you want to go to EPCOT and represent the UK?" I'd be like, "No." If I'm going to America, why would I want to represent, why would I want to be stuck in the UK bit?
That's true.
Yeah,
but like, it's obviously to just add the authenticity.
No, I get that, but it just sounds like a bit of a nightmare job to me. Just, I don't know, yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't sound ideal. But no, the beer was good, extortionately priced, as always, as it is. But it was nice. We sat down after completing the loop, had the nice beverage, and prepared for our next ride on Guardians of the Galaxy. So with Guardians, when we went, and still now, as of recording, they have the reservation system. So to be able to ride it, you had to reserve a free slot, and they appear at 7 a.m. And once they run out, and I think they give a second chance at a slot at 1 p.m. So we reserved one in the morning, and I was fast enough to get like boarding group 4, which basically meant as soon as the ride was open, it was we were called.
Yeah,
which is why we went on it at something like 9. I also wanted to ride it again, and to ride it again you can only reserve once, so we had to buy the individual lightning lane at something like $11 or $13 a piece, which is a rip-off, but it had to be done. And that one I think we specified for like 1 or something. So we were biding time until our reservation came up. What do you think of Cosmic Rewind?
I feel like we just always go like, yeah, it's very good, isn't it? And then you can't encapsulate everything in a phrase like that, because it was pretty mental, wasn't it?
Definitely.
It was... How do you describe Cosmic Rewind? Probably one of the most fun rides I've ever been on. To the point, like, not even... Because sometimes, well, most times when it's like a fun ride, I'll be like laughing and stuff. But this one was just like, the whole time you're just like smiling. And not even... Like, you weren't really laughing a lot. Well, you were. But I don't know, it was a different kind of fun than like other things. Because it wasn't just like the actual roller coaster. It was the whole thing together. Yeah. I can't describe it.
It's a very story-driven roller coaster. I don't think there's many roller coasters out there that can or have such a integrated story into them. Right? Like a lot of the classic Disney roller coasters that have a story are either like Everest, where it's loosely themed to something, or they are inside of a box with lights and discos and whatever. more akin to like Rock and Roller Coaster, but nothing that really conveys the development of a story whilst on the ride itself.
It was like being on a rise level of dark ride on a roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. It was a much more of a blend between the two. Usually it's obviously a roller coaster with a hint of dark ride, and you know, on those kind of things, stuff like Escape from Gringotts, you have the roller coaster section, you then stop for your dark ride scene, and then you have the roller coaster section. Whereas this, you never stopped. It was both a roller coaster and a dark ride scene at the same time. You know, and I think that's where it became different, because it becomes a lot more dynamic.
Because like where you would, if you took the theming off it, or the story or whatever you want to call it, and you just had that spinning coaster, there's moments where you'd be like, it's a bit boring.
Yeah.
Oh, like this bit's a bit crap compared to that bit, whatever. But then those spaces are filled with like, oh my god, look at that over there. And like the other things are happening. So there's no point at which you're like, this is like boring. I don't know how to describe.
No, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, there's always something to look at. And I feel like the story elements, you know, there's only like 4 or 5 real screens or things in there, but they're well positioned throughout to make it feel like, you know, you've seen a lot and you're doing something constantly. I think the way the ride begins is incredible. The way it launches you backwards, and when the music starts as well. The whole kind of hype around that scene. The
music element is genuinely one of the best things about it, and it's so simple. And other rides do that. But you can't. It's like if you said to me, "Oh, like you get a song when you go on the roller coaster," I'd be like, "Okay, cool." But then when you put it with the other things, and also the IP itself having the music from the films, like it just, everything works so well. And it's such a hype.
Yeah, and when you get, you know, songs that you are familiar with and like, then it's kind of just adds to it even further, right? I think we started off with Conga. Which
I didn't think was going to be that good.
No, but it really was.
It was the best.
It was really good.
100%. It was so good.
Yeah. And then we followed it up with September, and we were like screaming when we heard September.
Because that was the one we wanted.
Which was really good as well. And then I think we had 2 other songs. I can't really remember.
Not as good.
They weren't as good. One of them was a bit crap because it was too slow.
It's quite slow, yeah.
Yeah. The ride is relatively fast paced, so you need quite an upbeat and...
I don't know, it depends what kind of vibe you want. But yeah, I prefer the upbeat ones.
Definitely. You kind of have a slow vibe on that ride. It's not...
It was still good, though.
It was good, but it didn't quite fit as well as the others. Definitely. But no, yeah, having that kind of... Having the randomised bit is both a positive and a negative for the ride. Because it makes it better.
Because what you want is, right? What you want is for it to be random, but every time you just so happen to get Conga.
Every time you so happen to get the one that you want.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you could, like, vote. You know? But yeah, once you get the one that you want, it makes it so much better, but it also makes it a little bit worse when you don't get what you want. You know, our first 2 rides where we had 2 songs that we really liked were way better, in my opinion, than our 2 final rides where we didn't. It was nice to hear different songs. But if
we'd have done it 4 times and not gotten those 2 songs as part of it,
that would be fuming.
Then it wouldn't have been as good, I don't think, at all.
No, it would have been really frustrating.
Yeah.
But no, it's a really incredible ride, super re-rideable. The station design is insane. By far the best station I've ever seen. It's just mental. And the ride system itself, like the way the cars can spin and the way that they've managed to be able to... I mean, the reason that we don't have roller coasters that have like proper dark ride scenes whilst you're moving is because it's difficult to make it feel natural. If you're shifting your position relative to the screen, you would then be viewing a different part of the reality, right? If you move up, you're now looking down on the scene, so the scene has to reflect that. You know, they've done that on other rides, but it's quite difficult to do that for a roller coaster. But they've managed to do it. At least it's not the best. There's parts, depending on where you're sitting in the train, that kind of are just maybe outside of the area of
viewing.
Yeah. But for the most part, a lot of those scenes are pretty flawless, and you feel like you're moving, you know, with the screen, which really helps to kind of sell the idea. But yeah, I mean, it's just really cool, isn't it? The spinning,
So good.
the controlled, you know, it's all controlled spinning, but it's just enough. It's enough of a roller coaster without being too much, and enough storytelling without being too much.
Yeah.
The song is incredible. Yeah.
The audio of the characters.
Yeah, speaking over it as well.
And the like detail in like the differences. So like if they can't launch you from the start, the audio carries on. Like there's things like that where it doesn't pull you out. Well, it did pull us out because we had to wait a while for one of the rides, but that was obviously a fluke. But like it works in a way that it just keeps you in the story the whole time.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it's just, I don't know how, it's so good.
Very, very good. Very good.
It must be really hard to like conceptualize that before it's made, to make it work all together. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you have to really be able to understand how the ride is going to work from an operations point of view. Yeah. Because each scene has to be timed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be very iterative, where they almost they have maybe the show scenes in mind.
So many contingency things.
Well, but they have the show scenes in mind and then build the roller coaster around that so that it paces correctly, but then go back to the show scenes to make sure that they match the pace of the roller coaster. So that in a normal operation, the first scene that you see that launches you backwards is just the right amount of length normally. Yeah. And then if there is a delay, you have that contingency. But yeah, it's very clever to be able to do that. Yeah. There's not many rides that do that. They kind of just, as soon as one thing goes wrong, will goof, right? Yeah. And
it makes you excited for like new roller coasters because one day that's going to be normal.
Well, this is it. Stuff like that and Hagrid Bike, those two, are like...
Hagrid Bike's got nothing on Cosmic Rewind, mate.
Well, I don't know.
In terms of immersing you in a story.
No, but that's the benefit of putting a ride in a huge box.
Yeah.
Which I'm a fan with, but I also know that 9 times out of 10, when you put a ride in a big box, they just give up on theming it and they just put lasers everywhere.
But even without the box, I think Hagrid has got a long way to go. That outdoor animatronic ride could be way better, and that kind of roller coaster doesn't suit it necessarily. If it was like a spinning coaster outside, it would almost be like you need the thing of like controlled spinning to be able to like look at things.
Yeah,
like you'd have to look at the thing on Hagrid to see it happening.
Yeah,
it needs to be more forced, directional.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, Hagrid they're kind of...
Which is why it's not as immersive, because you're just kind of like... You're literally just doing a roller coaster with cool theming around
but it is a better roller coaster. From a roller coaster point of view, it's...
Oh, obviously.
It's better. But that's what I mean. They're two different takes of the same thing. Yeah. Right? Like, Hagrid Bike is more roller coaster than dark ride, and Cosmic Rewind is more dark ride than roller coaster. But you're totally right. You need that forced spinning to be able to control people.
They're almost not the same. You're right. They're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
Like, I would see Cosmic Rewind as a whole like new brand of ride. Yeah. Or category of ride, not brand. Like, where we call something a dark ride, it almost needs a new name. Right. Like a dark roller coaster or whatever.
Yeah, but isn't that what Gringotts is? Yeah. But they've been around for a while. You know.
Okay, but we're just not doing them well.
Well, no, exactly. As we said before, the fact is that they've always been stop-start. Roller coaster, dark ride scene, roller coaster. Yeah. Never all blended into one. Yeah.
But, like, we'll get on to Gringotts later.
Yeah.
I have other thoughts on that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's anything like
Cosmic Rewind. It's not. It's definitely not.
Like, they've nailed that. If that was a category, Cosmic has nailed what that is. Like, obviously there's improvements that could be made, but... Definitely. It's different.
I'm just always very sceptical about a big box. You know,
I know, but look at what they've done with it.
Yeah, I know. Well,
could you imagine a better big box than that?
No.
That's how to do a big box.
It is how to do a big box. I agree.
Yeah.
Very well thought out. Yeah.
The thing with the big boxes, like, you can only really do one theme, which is space. Because it's dark. Do you know what I mean? You can't be anywhere else other than a dark place.
Gringotts is a big box.
Okay, well, that's like a cave or whatever you're in.
It's a cave.
Okay, so you can be in a
Basically,
cave or the space.
You need to be able to invoke darkness
Yes.
at points during the ride. So you
A
need to
lot of
have
darkness,
a
though.
theme that will allow you to put riders into essentially pitch black
Yeah,
for brief parts.
yeah.
You know, to sell the idea.
Because, like, with
That's very
Space
true.
Mountain, you can just see the whole restraints. And that's not the vibe that you want. You want to be lost in it. You don't want to
You
be
mean
like,
the
I can
supports?
see where I'm going next. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, not the restraints.
Yeah. I got confused there.
Just looking at your restraint.
I mean, Crush's Coaster's in a big box, but that's atrocious theming wise.
Yeah, but the sea isn't dark, so it's just
Well, it's because they project the sea onto the walls and it always gets a bit funky. It's like a
But that's what I
school
mean.
disco.
You can't do that because the sea doesn't work in a big box.
I agree, but this is why I'm
Unless you're in the
skeptical.
depths of the ocean.
But this is why I'm skeptical, because most of them are terrible
Yeah, because
executions.
they're not on the level.
Why? Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we've seen it be done now.
Yes, we've seen it be done.
Anyway, incredible
Incredible ride.
request conga.
We got 4 rides on it in the end. We were pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
I would have got more. I wish you didn't have to virtually queue for it or buy it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we might have been able to get on it a few more times towards
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day. You know, there are parts. Well, the evening of Epcot wasn't actually that busy, and I would have sacrificed an evening to go and just chain ride it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Next time, eh?
what can you do? Yeah. Anyway, let's rattle through some rides real quick. Mission Space, the space simulator.
Oh my god. I nearly died on this. Genuinely, that's probably one of the worst rides I've ever been on.
Claustrophobia.
I didn't know what it was going to be. And probably good because I wouldn't have got on it otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, just sit down in that seat and then the whole world will just close in on you and then you're just like in space with a sick bag waiting for you to be sick in it. That was the vibe. And yeah, thought I was going to die. It was terrible. It was terrible. Did you not think it was terrible? I was like, because it was like, don't shut your eyes because then you'll feel worse. So I was like staring at the horizon of this video like,
I didn't necessarily think it was terrible.
What's the point in it?
But it's a simulator.
I know, but like, why do we need to feel that sensation?
Yeah, but I thought it was quite cool to be able to feel that sensation.
No, I don't want to be an astronaut, mate.
There's not many opportunities you get to feel that sensation.
For a reason.
Well,
'Cause
exactly.
it's not normal.
Yeah, because it's uncomfortable. But that's why they built, that's why there's an orange and a green.
Yeah. Next time, I'll be on the green one and you can go on the orange one.
I thought it was cool. Made me feel a bit queasy as well.
Yeah.
But
it's mental.
It's just a cool feeling, a cool effect. It's very cool that they managed to pull off the sensation of taking off in a rocket by causing you to spin around. It's just that
you just like it because you're a nerd.
It's clever execution, exactly. I like it.
Yeah, it was terrible. Genuinely was very scared, like panic attacks.
Still
level.
pressed your buttons though.
Yeah, because I was getting my frustration out. I think I like slammed it. I thought it was gonna like go quicker as well. Anyway, not good.
No.
What else do they have at Epcot? Not a lot.
Mission Space.
Mission
No, that's
Space.
what we spoke about. Spaceship Earth. Sorry, is what I was trying to say.
The other space one. Sorry. Yeah.
That's one inside the big ball.
That was terrible, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
didn't like that at all.
Absolutely horrific.
Yeah, it's just old and cheap.
It's like
and
Magic Kingdom vibes where they won't remove it because it's so iconic or whatever.
it feels like a dark ride that would have been built in a European theme park in the 1990s. You know, like
it's 90s vibes.
budget, weird take on how communication has evolved.
Yeah, but
throughout
why do we
history.
need to know that?
Well, because
What's that got to do with
that's
anything?
part of Epcot, isn't it? The whole
Communication.
Yeah, technology. How
Technology.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
Yeah, but that's such a
Communication
boring.
through technology.
That's such a boring aspect of like technology to me. I don't know. Why do we have to focus? I don't know. Why do we have to go back in time all the time? Why?
But I don't think it's meant to be going back in time.
No,
per
but
se.
like to explain, it's just like a Carousel of Progress. Like, here's how we used to live back in the 1200s.
Well, Walt Disney was obviously a big fan of technological advancements.
It's big Walt vibes in that ride, and
big Walt vibes.
It is though, isn't it? You can tell that's like his brainchild or whatever, and I don't like it.
No.
And it was like it made me really uneasy the way it went up and round and then down. Like it was just. I
find it stupid
mental.
that the way it ends is in a garage in like the 1980s or 1990s or whatever. That's really stupid.
And like the screen thing.
And then
when I've seen that on a vlog before, I thought, oh, that looks pretty funny and cool. And then when we did it, I was like,
it's awful.
This is like weird.
It's just awful.
It's just so random as well.
The screen is there to keep you occupied while you descend vertically down back through the ball, which is really stupid. Oh yeah, it's a stupid ride.
It's so random.
Put a roller coaster in it. That's what Europa Park have.
Just don't have anything. Just keep it as a ball, guys.
Just keep it as a ball.
Yeah.
I feel like you could do something clever with it.
Just maybe like a area where you can stand and they project stuff inside the ball. I don't know. There you go. There's an idea.
Yeah.
They're never going to rip that out.
No. It's
incredible.
It's just not ideal. Moving on over to... See, I don't know what they're all called, all the different areas of the park, just mainly because I can't be bothered to learn them, and they're pointless anyway.
It's not very apparent anyway.
No. There's... Well, I think they're all like land, sea, space.
Oh, is that what they're trying to do?
I don't know, yeah. Anyway, so in the land area, we have Soarin'.
The land area being that one building?
What building?
The mall type building?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. The mall type building. It is an ugly as hell building, isn't it? God, that's awful.
Yeah.
It feels like you've stepped back in time and you are in a shopping centre.
Yeah.
You know, with like carpet everywhere. And you're like, what?
And escalators.
It's just...
It's weird, isn't it? It's really so random. It's really so strange. Random. Oh dear.
Yeah. So Soarin'.
Yeah, fine. You hated it.
Soarin' is boring.
Yeah, but you're like, oh well, you know, Flight of Passage, blah blah. Obviously, Flight of Passage is better. Otherwise, there'd be something going wrong. It's fine. Soarin' is fine.
To me, it's
lovely.
So Flight of Passage, you know, we haven't spoke about it yet, but the reason Flight of Passage is so good is
it suits the theme.
No, the reason Flight of Passage is so good is because it gives you a new experience. It's giving you an interesting and dynamic story.
Okay.
Right.
When was Soarin' made?
Something like the original one, 2005.
Yeah.
So, Soarin' is a helicopter filming various parts of the world from above. It's a helicopter.
Yeah.
Because it was filmed in wherever.
Yeah.
It was a helicopter. I'm pretty sure. You know, and that is cool, but at the same time, I could watch that on my computer. What it feels to me...
It's not immersing you.
No, far from it. What it feels to me is... I don't know if you've ever seen the little attractions you get at shopping centres, malls, whatever, where it's like a roller coaster simulator, where you sit in this little car and there's a TV in front of you. You choose what roller coaster you want to ride, and then it tilts you forwards and backwards, left and right, as you go around this roller coaster.
Yeah.
It feels exactly like that, but they've scaled that thing up.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree.
It is.
I agree with you. But the context is this was built in 2005.
So, Spider-Man was built in 1999.
Yeah, but it's a flying theatre. So it's a different thing.
I don't know.
Also, this is just like a nice ride. It's fine. It's one that like your grandma could go on and like she'd love it. She'd be like, wow, it's the Eiffel Tower that looks
I don't know why. I just expected more from it. I just expected...
No, but we did it the wrong way around, didn't we?
Well, obviously.
Because we went on Flight of Passage first. And you can't go back after that.
Even if we went on it first, because we've done Flight of the Skyline, which itself is a Flight of Passage rip-off, I would have come out with the same thing.
Yeah, but it is what it is, man.
No, I get it. It is what it is.
Is anybody out there going, Soarin' is so amazing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I had to go on with some guy on Reddit who has said that Soarin's way better than Flight of Passage. Which is a joke. If you have that opinion, there's something wrong with you.
What?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Soarin' is fine. Everyone who thinks it's amazing.
Mid. It's like
incorrect.
the definition of mid.
It genuinely breaks at one point. How can you say it's good?
What do you mean?
Well, because the Eiffel Tower's like
it's shaped like
flopping around.
Exactly. It's just poor
It doesn't even
execution.
work. Anyway, it's fine.
It doesn't work. Oh, yeah. It's just poor. I just don't get it. I don't know what
But again,
I don't want
it's
to go
there
to a
because
theme
it's there.
park.
They're not going to change it.
I don't want to go to a theme park to see. Oh, well, I'm going to say this: the sights of the world when World Showcase is right there.
Yeah.
No, I want to see the real sights of the world. I
That's
don't
not
want to
the real
fly
sight.
above. I don't know, man.
I get what you mean, but we
It's
have to
not
think about the context, which is this is
immersive.
EPCOT. So
It's
what?
not. It doesn't pull me in. It does the exact opposite of what a theme park is meant to do. You know, take you out of reality, it's shoving me into reality for some reason. I don't know. I just don't like it.
Anyway, it was a nice sit down, and then we also had a nice sit down on
Living with the
land, which is kind of boring, but also nice.
Living with the land is
It's too slow.
boring at the beginning. I don't like the initial bit where it talks you through these.
Again,
The screen
why are we
scenes.
learning about this?
Yeah, but
like,
that's Epcot though. It's
I
meant to
know,
be about
but
that.
like, it's boring. Go a bit faster.
Okay.
It needs to be like double the speed. I think our attention span, like, they need to ramp up the thing now.
When it gets to the greenhouse, I think the speed
The
is fine.
greenhouse is cool.
Yeah, and then when they tell you about the different types of techniques they're using, that's really nice. I like that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's very unique, and it's interesting to see what they're doing.
Make me learn something in the context of something being cool, not just like genuinely like a lesson.
You want to
about
see
stuff.
it, right?
Yeah, I
want
to see. I want to have some stuff going on.
You want to have a screen tell you.
Yeah, I don't want to be
in-
reading a screen.
In this part of the world, they're doing this.
At one point, you read a screen.
Yeah.
I'm not. Make it do a voiceover, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, fine. Yeah, the greenhouse was cool. What else did we go on? Figment.
No, let's not go to Figment.
Let's not go to Figment.
Next one is Seas. So you got
Oh, the seas.
Nemo Dark Ride,
Yeah.
and you've got
Crush's talk.
Turtle Talk. Crushes
Crushes.
Turtle Talk with Crush.
Yes.
Something like that. With Crush and
Crush
friends.
having a chat.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Nemo.
Nemo.
It's alright.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It is what it is.
It's no Little Mermaid.
No. Little Mermaid is peak.
I think with Nemo it needs more real fish in it.
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
Nemo's alright, but you know, if you've got real fish knocking around, then
Yeah.
I mean, someone said to us that one of the scenes is you're going on the water tunnel, the jet stream with Crush and his
Yeah.
turtle buddies, you know, and you kind of have this effect where everything's rushing by you, which is cool. But apparently, it used to be, what do they call the tunnels? Like an
aquarium tunnel.
aquarium tunnel where you can, you know, there would have been water all around you, and you would have seen all these fish swimming past you in this huge open tunnel. That would have been way cooler.
That's cool. I want both though, because that what is the EA? What's the current they call it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
The current thing was like one of the best scenes.
Yeah, it was one of the best scenes.
So.
But still, like a shark tunnel with, you know.
Yeah, but we've done that at SeaWorld, mate.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's nothing special.
Yeah, but neither is this projection.
Well, it is though, isn't it?
Mm,
SeaWorld doesn't do Crush's, you know, current vibes. I don't know. Anyway, it's just Nemo in it. Like, there's not a lot to say about it.
Next is Turtle Talk.
Hilarious.
That was funny. The kids.
So good.
Kids are hilarious, man.
Yeah.
They just ask such weird questions.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Crush will ask the most normal question, like, where do you live? Or who's with you today? And they come out with this deranged answer, you know?
It's so good. It's such a good idea.
You see all the videos on, like, TikTok, don't you?
Yeah.
And Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts of people filming and, you know, their kid asking really stupid questions.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
No, it's good.
It's a good 10 minutes to kill. Definitely.
What else is there but Figment?
Figment.
Try and think of something else so you don't have to talk about
Well,
Figment.
there's two, I think. There's Figment and then there's Remy's Ratatouille Adventure.
Oh, yes. Rat Ride.
So let's talk Figment first.
Yeah. I actually remember quite a lot of it because it was so weird.
It was weird.
It's stuck in my memory.
It's a deranged ride. It's really outdated.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculously outdated. yet at the same time, it's incredibly off the wall, kind
Bizarre.
of just random. I cannot follow what the story is. It's basically this.
Well, it's like a lab, right?
Yeah, but it's basically this purple dragon pissing around for like 15 minutes, isn't it? Just having a whale of a time, being an absolute
Yeah.
prick.
Yeah.
So,
And like, I don't know, man. At some points, he was like a little animatronic dragon, and then he was on a screen, and then he was like something else. I can't remember what other form he came in, but it was just like, that doesn't make any sense, does it?
well, no, I guess.
How can he be? Because the animatronic looked like it looked rubbish, and then obviously on screen, like he's a full character. Like, it's so bizarre that they would do that. I don't know. It just felt jarring.
Yeah, it is jarring and it's goofy and stupid.
What happened at the end that we were like, oh wow, that was surprising?
Well, the walls come down, don't they? And you go into his like imagination world.
Oh
with,
yes,
like rainbows and stuff.
And it all just turned very weird.
yeah,
quickly. Yeah.
It's just like a jump scare of bright colours.
Bizarre things.
Such a weird ride. Like, we walked straight onto it, unsurprisingly. There's probably like 4 other people on the entire ride at that point in time. It's insane. It's the definition of insanity. The most random theme park attraction I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot understand why people love Figment so much.
No.
As a character. It's a pain in the ass.
And then who was the celeb that was in it?
One of the people from Monty Python.
Yeah. I find that weird because obviously back in the day, it's kind of like now where like Chris Pratt comes on and we're all like, oh, it's Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
whatever.
it is actually.
But now looking at that and like Soarin' with the guy, the Kuzco guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? No, Kronk. It's just weird. Like, it's like takes you right back to those years and it just makes it so dated. Like, just remove it.
It'll be exactly the same, won't it?
Yeah.
In like 20 years' time.
Like,
When
who's Chris Pratt?
Chris Pratt is
Like,
doing, Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
and Velocicoaster.
oh yeah, every ride in the universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, it's just weird. Like when the Kronk guy, I can't remember his name, comes on and he's like, hi, and then he starts talking and you're like, oh, we're really in the 90s now.
the
2000s, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it is.
It's weird.
It is weird. It is very strange. And then finally, Rat Ride.
We've been on that one before,
We
mate.
have been on. I wanted to talk first. I think, first of all, Ratatouille Remy Adventure, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, Remy's Adventure of Ratatouille, whatever.
I
it's
don't even
called.
know what it's called.
It's called Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. Stupid name for a stupid ride.
Why couldn't they just call it Ratatouille?
I don't
Anyway,
know. It's a very good point, Zoe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything has to be an adventure now.
It has to be
It's not
at least
Frozen,
five,
is it? It's
5 words long, the time.
Frozen.
Happily Ever After or something. I don't know.
What is it? You Google that while I talk.
Okay.
The problem with Remy's Ratatouille,
Just call it Rat Ride.
Red Adventure, or Rat Ride for sure, is that it ruins the France Pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
It just is just completely disconnected. I don't know.
It's
What?
called Frozen Ever After.
Frozen Ever After.
After.
That's
Yeah.
a stupid name as well.
Yeah.
Go on. It ruins the area because, most of the pavilions you walk in, most of the pavilions, as we said, you walk past and they kind of start wide and narrow in as you kind of go further into them, right? That's fair way to explain it. The France area is like split in two. You've got the main normal bit that does that, and then you've got this like side path that takes you all the way around.
It's like a back entrance.
Yeah, it takes you all the way around to the Rat Ride, and it's first of all it's a huge bottleneck. Second of all, it does not link up with the other part of the France Pavilion, and it just feels stupid.
Yeah.
And you can also see outside of the park at that point, and that also feels stupid.
Yeah.
It just feels stupid.
It is.
And then the biggest problem with Rat Ride is that it was built for the worst Disney theme park in the world, which is Walt Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
Walt Disney's Hollywood.
The Studios Park at Paris.
Walt Disney Studios Park. I think it's
anyway.
called. Yeah, and it was built for that park in I don't know, like 2014, 15, something like that. And if you're building a ride for the worst Disney theme park, your standards can unsurprisingly be quite low, right? You don't need to spend too much money to produce a ride that's good in the worst Disney theme park in the world, right?
Yeah.
So when we rode it in relative to the other rides at that park, of which most are terrible.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah.
The problem with that is they ported the exact same ride, no changes, no improvements, the exact same one to Epcot. And the big problem with that is that Walt Disney World has good rides in it.
Wow.
And Epcot has one good ride in it. So when you compare Remy's Ratatouille Adventure to something like Cosmic Rewind or, I don't know, Rise of the Resistance, it immediately becomes apparent that it's not very good.
But I don't think it's that bad.
I don't think it's that good.
But it's really not that bad.
But it's just a stupid ride. I don't get it. I don't
think it's that bad. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's quite cool.
Why?
I think you've just been on it before.
Why is it quite cool?
Because it's a trackless dark ride.
But it does... What? Oh, no.
What's wrong with it?
It doesn't need to be a trackless dark ride. You could have... It would be no worse if it was a track dark ride.
Well, it would.
It wouldn't.
It would.
It wouldn't.
It would.
It wouldn't.
There's elements where...
There's like 2 moments in the entire ride where you interact with the other mice.
Yeah, but I think you underestimate just the fact that you are in a trackless dark ride anyway. You're shaking your head.
Stupid.
Okay.
Stupid ride.
You just form these opinions of some things that are just like a little bit too extreme.
It's over-engineered, right? You've built a trackless dark ride. It doesn't need to be a trackless dark ride.
But how many trackless dark rides exist when it made?
Disney had already built one that was better.
Which one?
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
I think Mystic Manor was open at that point, or might have opened a year later, which is actually really nice as well.
Okay. But are they like... what's the one at thingy called? Symbolica. Are they Symbolica level, the ones that had been built at that time? No.
Well, I think they are. Symbolica didn't come that far after.
I just don't think it's that far below the others.
Yeah, but if... Hold on.
I don't think it's that... I think it's below, but not as far as you're making it out. Do you know what I mean? You obviously don't know what I mean.
It is miles below the others. Like, they're completely different scales of quality. Remy's... The Rat Ride is just nowhere near as good as any other. It's nowhere near as good as Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's nowhere near as good as that.
No, but I think it was for me the first time.
2014. Opened in 2014. Symbolica opened
so angry.
3 years later.
Yeah, 3 years is a long time.
Rise of Resistance opened 5 years later.
Yeah, well...
5 years in the theme park world is not that long.
No, but Rise is a different thing. You can't... Excuse me.
No.
When I rode Rat Ride in Paris the first time, I thought it was incredible. I was shook off. I'd never been on a track dark ride before. Trackless.
Neither did I, and I agree.
It was incredible.
I agree. I guess it's all relative, isn't it?
Yeah, I think in 10 years' time, you'll look at Rat Ride and Mickey and Minnie and you'll say they're pretty much the same level.
No. See, Mickey and Minnie has things to see all of the time. Rat Ride has a few screens and a few big sets.
That's
an
absolute over-exaggeration.
Darkness.
That's an exaggeration.
What do you mean? The floor's all black.
It has a lot of
the
stuff.
ceiling's all black.
It's the same as Symbolica where you move between things.
No, but Symbolica, you could look anywhere in that ride and it would be themed.
No.
Yes. What? What do we know?
No.
That's
not everywhere.
That's false.
False.
That's incorrect.
Let's go back to Efteling right now.
No, that's true. I'm correct.
I just think your level of annoyance at this ride is unjustified.
No.
Okay, agree to disagree.
No.
What do you mean? I have an opinion.
Yeah, it's just not the same. It's not the same.
You just don't like Remy, and that's your problem.
I like Ratatouille. It's a good film. It's just a poor execution.
What's wrong with it, though?
It could be so much better. I just feel
So
like
could
it's
everything.
a poor execution of a really good idea, and it's really annoying.
I think it's fine.
The oversized sets are incredible. You know,
Yeah.
like navigating those is really cool and really interesting. I just find the blend between the sets and the screens is incredibly jarring and like not at all linked together. It's either you're in a set or you're in a screen. It's not like, say, Spider-Man, where you have a screen surrounded by sets, so the screen becomes an extension of the set.
But aren't
You
you
literally wheel into these domed screens with nothing else in it but the screen.
But aren't you meant to be under the what do you call that in the kitchen?
But I mean, you could have some nice wood paneling or something to kind of. You see what I mean? It's just a cheap version of
I really just anyway.
It's just not Disney.
I don't
level.
think
it's
it's
not Disney
that
level.
bad. I don't think it's that bad.
It's bad. It's not very good.
No, but the level of like, you know, the level that you're talking, it's not that bad. It's like a 7 out of 10.
I mean, yeah.
It's not a 3 out of 10.
It's not bad. It makes me angry because it could be much better.
So
That's
then
what
you're
makes
not
me
saying
angry.
it's a terrible ride.
I'm not saying it's a terrible
So
ride.
which is what you've been saying the whole time.
I just get frustrated by the fact that it's a poor execution of something that could be so good.
I don't think it's poor. I think you're over exaggerating.
I think it's poor.
It's not poor.
If it was a different ride system, then I'd say okay, you know. But it's just.
But why does a trackless dark ride have to be so good?
I mean, it doesn't.
The
does it? But
sets. You're saying just because
Disney
it's
should be
tracked, you have
Yeah, but
to
what-
theme every single piece of the
What
set.
other Disney dark ride? It has like blank walls. I
Toy
don't
Story
know.
Mania.
Oh, yeah, but you can't say that. That's true. It's very true, Zoe. That is an
Yeah.
objectively bad ride.
Yeah, because that is genuinely screen.
But
move
that
to
is the
screen,
same thing. Though.
Screen.
Yeah, there's no theming between.
So
screens,
that's a
I
3
agree.
out of 10.
Yeah,
Rat Ride is
you're
a 7 out of
destroying.
10.
Fine. I don't know.
Do you see what I mean?
I'd give it like a 6.
You're exaggerating.
I'd give it a 6.
Anyway,
It's just annoying.
we've done Rat Ride
It's just a
before.
pain in the
We did it
arse.
again.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. We didn't have to wait. Like, we only waited 5 minutes for it, which is fine.
Incredible. So Epcot.
I just hate it because right, okay. So it was good. To summarize my thoughts.
Are you talking about Rat Ride?
Yeah,
still?
yeah.
Oh my god.
To
We need a
summarise
whole
my thoughts-
episode on Rat Ride at this point.
I'm going to take on board what you said.
Okay.
It was good in 2014,
Yeah.
right? At the park it was at originally, right?
Yeah.
Walt Disney Studios. Good.
If it was in Paris Magic Kingdom, it would be good.
It would be.
Because that's also got rubbish rides in it. Welcome to Disney.
You're right. It would be good. I think the problem is they ported it over to Epcot in Walt Disney World, which already has things like Rise of the Resistance and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
I'm saying that realistically there should have been a bump in quality to reflect the standard of these parks as opposed to the Parisian parks. That's what I'm saying.
Have Disney ever done that?
Well,
Have they cloned a ride and made it better?
they've cloned a ride and made it cheaper.
Have they ever made it better?
Well, it's hard to define. How do you define better?
In your opinion?
Well, I don't know. There's not many.
I don't think they have, because that would be admitting that they were crap in the first place.
Yeah, and
They don't do that.
I mean, they changed the way Tower of Terror works. It didn't work very well.
Mechanically, though.
Yeah, mechanically.
Not aesthetically. Or to the integrity of the ride.
Yeah.
That you would notice, unless
Yeah.
you're a nerd.
Yeah.
I don't think they wanted to say... I think they're happy with it.
I don't think they have.
I don't think everything has to be a 10 out of 10.
I agree.
Otherwise, the world would be a very
Sorry,
strange place.
I agree. Everything doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10. The problem is the high points of Rat Ride set it up to be this grand thing, right? And that's it, right? That's it to a T. The scale of the ride doesn't reflect the quality. It's quite big in scale, but it's not big in quality. If it was a smaller dart ride like Nemo, you don't need as big quality, right? Because it's a smaller dart ride with lower quality. Mm-hmm. That's my problem. There's a mismatch between what they were aiming to do and what they were willing to spend.
Yeah. They didn't have the budget to pull it off.
Exactly.
But
and then now it feels like it's missing.
I'm struggling with your opinion of the quality of it because I genuinely think it's a fine quality. It's a 7 out of 10. They've done it. I didn't, at any point during the ride, did I think, oh, that's a bit crap. Like, I never think that in Rat Ride.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So I don't know.
Let's move on.
I just don't get it. I don't get it, man.
It just frustrates me.
Okay.
That is it for the rides in Epcot. We were going to talk about Animal Kingdom, but we're not going to now because we're already
How long have we done?
So...
Oh my god. We also need to cover a few more things off of Epcot. Is the Broadway show that we saw.
Off you go then.
That was very cool. It was like a thing of like we just walked past and then we saw the signs for it.
What is it?
Disney
on Broadway
on
series.
Broadway, yeah. And they had like a couple of people each night were doing songs and stuff. And the night we were there, it was, I forget her name. I think it begins with P. And the other guy, that's really bad.
Very cool.
Hang on. It was Patty Murin and Robert Crichton. And they were very good. So basically... that it was the stage. What's the stage called in front of like the America bit?
No idea.
Anyway, the stage there, and they basically did like random songs from different musicals. And the guy Robert had actually been in like a lot of them. So he did like Little Mermaid, and they did obviously Frozen, Beauty and the Beast, like loads of them.
Yep.
And they just like sang together, didn't they? And they did a little bit of like comedy as well. And yeah, it was just cool, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. Nice surprise to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then also the show. We need to talk
Harmonious.
about the show.
What did you think about Harmonious? First of all, Harmonious is all about these big barges in the middle of the lake, which look really stupid and ugly in the daytime because they're these obnoxious black, barges in a seemingly nice lake that you could, normally be able to view straight across the lake and it'd be quite pretty.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I thought it was okay. It was quite cool the way they'd done the music and like the whole kind of like artistic representation of the songs and stuff. And obviously like the water effects were cool. There was like fireworks. It was really cool when all the buildings lit up. Like all the buildings in the showcase were like, lined with like
lights,
little fairy lights. So they all lit up and you could see all the outlines,
and having the fireworks go around the lagoon, that was cool.
It was cool.
It's very well integrated.
It was a cool like display. I wouldn't call it a show, I'd call it a display.
A display.
It was like a firework display done very, very, very well. But I wouldn't call it a show in the way that like the castle one normally is.
Emotion.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily a story. It was just like here's a song, which it worked well. Like they blended and stuff, and it was cool. But yeah, it just, I don't know. I wanted to cry and I didn't cry. It was just cool. It was like, oh, that was impressive.
Yeah, I think the barges are novel.
Yeah. And it allows everybody, because it's quite a hard thing, isn't it, to have people standing all the way around the thing that we're looking at. So I think the barges work well for like everywhere you stood, you could probably see, obviously if there was stuff in the way, but if you could see the barges, you could see the whole thing.
Yeah, you'd get
which was good
view. Yeah, I mean, it was better than the Magic Kingdom show that we saw.
Yeah, genuinely. It was a bit different,
Disney's
wasn't
Enchantment. Yeah, it was a bit different, and I appreciated that it was different.
Yeah.
And a bit
I didn't want to
unique.
see it again.
No.
But it was fine.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, well.
That'd be Epcot.
What are your general thoughts on Epcot then?
That really.
You gotta.
Didn't want to do it again.
Can't remember what we rated it. The other two. Can you remember what we gave them?
Was it out of 10?
Yeah.
I think it was 5s-ish.
5s and 6, wasn't it?
5 and a 6, maybe.
Or 5 and a 7. 5
Yeah.
and a 6. I think it was 5 and a 6.
It's really tricky with this one. Take the World Showcase and that would be a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah. So
despite not having many rides in there.
I don't think you need many rides in there.
No.
So
because it's a thing on its own.
I agree. The first half of the park is terrible. It's really bad.
It doesn't help that half of it was under construction as well.
No, but I'm not sure that's going to improve it that much.
No, because it's too random.
It's too random. There's
random.
no cohesion. Or there probably is a little bit, but it doesn't feel like there's much cohesion. Everything's outdated. Everything could do with being updated, which is obviously what they're probably trying to do now, but you've left it too long to achieve that. So, sucks to suck. I agree. World Showcase is nice. I have a problem with the entire place, which is that I think all of the IPs are completely against what World Showcase is. Why do we have Frozen?
Yeah.
Why do we have Ratatouille? They're not representative of those countries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit about them. I don't care about them.
No. Well, it just... Going back to Walt himself, that's not what this was built for, is it?
No.
And you can tell.
Yeah, but this is it. Like, the Frozen ride opened as this, like, Norwegian river... Well, this Norwegian, I don't know,
Fjords,
Viking adventure thing, which was obviously a unique experience and would have tied in to that country pavilion a lot better. And I feel like that's what... There perhaps needs to be more rides across... Well, not necessarily more, but the ones that they do have need to be better.
What was the Mexican ride always Donald Duck?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Because why would you do that?
Exactly. I couldn't tell you. I assume it wasn't, but I don't know.
I just think it's a shame, isn't it? Because they're never going to do stuff like that.
No. They will never, ever
think
fix
how
it.
good it would be if they did.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. It's never going to not feature IPs, and it's just a shame.
Like, imagine if Rat Ride was a tour through Paris. Your face. I don't know, something.
Yeah, something
like another ride that was like another thing.
Something bespoke.
Yeah.
Something that you can only get in Epcot.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all a bit silly because the problem with that is, and this is a Magic Kingdom. This is a Walt Disney World wide problem. Is all of the parks end up blending together because they all provide, the same IP experiences just in different places. Frozen could probably go in any of the parks.
Mm-hmm.
Guardians of the Galaxy could probably go in I'd say any of the parks. If you ignore Animal Kingdom, you could put Frozen in the other three. You could put Guardians of the Galaxy in the other three. You could put Rat Ride in the other three. We just need, more rides that are bespoke to the individual parks rather than having rides that feel like they could exist anywhere. That just seems pointless.
It needs to be its own USP.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's not. They're
ruining the USP.
Yeah, they're just creating 4 of the same thing, just slightly different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think I gave Magic Kingdom a 3 and Hollywood Studios a 6.
A 3 and a 6? Did you really?
Yeah. I'd probably give Epcot a right down the middle 5.
Yeah.
It lacks quality rides, but the park isn't about the rides. So I'm okay with that. It's just half of the park is a 3 and half of it is like a 7. I
think it's quite a unique thing is the fact that they've managed to get this idea that you walk around Showcase and you eat stuff and it's festivals and stuff like that.
It's nice.
That's very different to the other parks, which
Definitely.
Is why it's such a shame that they're not like leaning into that in the right ways. And that kind of eventually that would be like a side thing on the main like Disney park or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, it feels like it doesn't really know what it's trying to be.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. They should really play to the strengths and make it all about World Showcase.
I think I'd give it a 6 for World Showcase.
Fair enough.
It's quite unique.
It's very unique. It's very interesting. And it's nice to have a park that is like that in the world. But it's just a shame that it's...
The rest of it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very weird park.
It is. I think there's a lot of people who like it, and probably for good reason, but I just, I'm not sentimental about any of the old stuff, and therefore don't really care about Epcot generally. I have no positive feelings towards this park.
I think it's just a shame because personally, the showcase thing I really love. Like, that is my kind of vibe, is like walking around, eating stuff. That is really cool. And it really is a disappointment that the rest of it is like that. So, bit gutted.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So what, you're saying, do you prefer, what's your order of the park so far? Is Hollywood Studios above Epcot? It's quite bad, isn't it, to say it like that, but...
Well, what did I give? Did I both give them both a 6?
Yeah, I guess. See, I would put it above, purely for...
Studios above Epcot.
Yeah, purely for the rides.
It's more of a theme park in its entirety. Like, Epcot is not...
It's just broken, isn't it?
It's really broken. Weird. It's a really weird park to walk around.
Maybe when they fix it, it'll feel
I don't know.
a bit better. Anyway, that is
another one
80
down.
minutes about Epcot, which is a bit of a yikes. So tune in next time.
It's just like the 40 minutes on Rat Ride, so...
Tune in next time for the 80 minutes about Animal Kingdom.
Oh, we'll be exceeding 80 minutes.
There you go. Exciting times.
Yeah.